All right, we doing 2.1, starts on page 91, and let's just get into it. So, inside of the square root symbol is the radicand. That's what this number is called. The square root symbol itself is called the radical sign. The number up top here is called the index. Any number outside of like the whole thing itself is called the coefficient. Back to here. Okay, so the square root of 81 equals 9 because 9 times 9 equals 81. Simple. Okay, now negative 100, the square root of negative 100 cannot be done because they have to be the same. So the closest you can get is negative 10 times 10, which would equal negative 100. But they're not the same because this is a negative 10 and this is a 10. So it's just unsolvable. Next one. 3C. You need 3 numbers that are exactly the same that will equal a negative 64. The answer to this one is a negative 4. Because if you take negative 4 times a negative 4 times a negative 4 will equal a 16 times 4, which will equal negative 4. So you'll equal a negative 64. Back down, this is on page 98. This is converting to mixed radicals. So you're going to take a whole radical and you're going to turn it into a mixed radical. So you're going to find 2 numbers that multiply to get this number, but you're going to keep it inside the square root. I found 5 times 10. But 10 can be brought down again. So you got 5 times 2 times 5. There's a little invisible 2 here. You need 2 numbers that are the same inside here, and you're going to bring them out. So you got 5 and 5. 5 square root 2. That's in simplest form. Same idea here, except you're going to need 3 numbers on the inside this time. In the end, you're going to end up with 3, 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. If you times these numbers together, equal 54. You have 3 3s. You're going to bring the 3s outside, and you're just going to rewrite. Like that. You're going to do the same here, but there's already a coefficient outside. Whatever you get on the inside to bring out, you're going to times them together. So you're going to end up with 1/2 the square root of 5 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. You got group of 2. You got a group of 2, you got a group of 2. You're going to go 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. You're going to bring the 8 outside. 8 times 1/2 is 4, the square root of 5. This is just going the opposite way. So we've made this. Now how do you get it back to that? So you're going to bring it just on the inside of the bracket. So you're going to go 5, and you're going to want 2 of them because it's to the second root. 7 and 7. You're going to just times them together now. 7 times 7, 49. 5 times 49, 245. Same with this one, except for you're going to leave the negative on the outside is the catch. So it's going to be negative like this. 3 times 2 times 2. 48. Just like that.
Okay, here we are with Chapter 2.2. This is on page 104. We're starting in with question 3a. So here we're going to solve we're simplifying this. So we're going to simplify root of 20 into root of 2 times 2 times 5. And then the root of 72 will turn into root 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And then we're going to have the root of 45 will be simplified into root 3 times 3 times 5. So now we're going to simplify these by taking out just the duplicate. So the 2's will come out. So we'll have 2 root of 5 plus, and then we'll have both the set of 2 and the set of 3. So we'll take those out. It'll be 6 root of 2 because that's what is left over. And then we're going to be taking the 3 out of the root 5. And now we have this longer, I guess you could say, equation. And we're going to take these similar, because we're adding and subtracting here, you have to have the same radical. So here these both have root 5. So we can take their coefficients, -3 and 2, and we're going to add them together. So 2 minus 3 is -1. We're just going to leave the negative sign. 5 plus 6 root 2. And sometimes this textbook likes you to have it written like this, but either is correct. And then we're going to be moving on to 5a. This is on page 105. So this one is with the longer, a longer equation, and we're using fractions in here. So first we've got to do the same thing we did up top, where we are just basically taking these numbers and we're simplifying them a little bit. So root 63 can be changed to root 3 times 7 plus, and then we have 2/5 root of, let's see here, root 7 is 700 is being 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 7 minus 2/3 root, and then 112 will be broken into 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7 plus 3/2 root of 28 will be 2 times 2 times 7. So then now we're going to take out these numbers that are the duplicates. So here we have the 3's will come out, and instead of adding it, or instead of taking it out and putting it up front and multiplying these together, we are just going to combine it with the fraction in one go and just cancel it off the bottom, because we take the 3's out. 3 times 1/3 is just going to be 1, because the 3 on the bottom will be simplified, and there'll be plus 2/5. We're going to take out this 2, we're going to take out the 5's. Imagining I'm taking out the 5's first, so the 5 will be gone on the bottom, and just multiplying the 2 out onto the 2. So then we'll have plus 4 root of 7 minus 2/3, and then here the 2's and both sides of 2's will be out, so we're going to go -2/3 times 4 is -8/3, and then we're going to have root 7 plus 3/2, 3/2, multiply that by the 2 that we're going to take out, 3/2, and this 2 is going to come out, we're going to multiply it out, and it's going to end up taking off that 2 on the bottom, so we'll just be left with 3 root 7, and so now we have, luckily all of these are the same radical, so that we can add them all together right away, and we're just going to take the first number, so the 1 and the 4, -2/3, oh whoops, sorry, this is supposed to be crossed out, this is just the -8/3, and then the 3, and then that all combines to be a 16/3 root 7, because 1 and 4 is 5, and then 5 and 3 is 8, and then 8 minus 8/3 is 16/3, and then we leave the radical the same. So that is the solution there. And really quickly, I'm going to solve for x on this one. So this is 10 on page 107, or question 10 on page 107. We're going to leave this side the same, and then we're going to simplify this into root 3 times 5, which can be 5, or 3 root 5, like that. You take the 3's out and put it in the outside, and this stays like that. If these equal each other, then we're going to subtract to get the x alone. Or sorry, we're going to add, so that it reverses that subtract, and then it's going to be x equals 5 root 5, and that's how you do those ones. Multiplying the radicals on page, this is 111. So here we're just multiplying what's inside the radicals. So in here we're going to do, this is going to be root of 21. It's pretty simple and straightforward. Here we have to make sure we're multiplying the coefficients and multiplying the radicals separately. So -3 times 2 is -6, and 5 times 2 is 10, so it's going to be root of 10, and that's all you're doing there. Here we have a little bit different. We have a variable, so when you multiply two radicals that are exactly the same like this, they're going to end up canceling out the radicals, so that's just going to be 10a. And then here we have this idea, and when we square it, it's the same idea here as we are multiplying the exact same thing over again. The radical gets canceled out, and it's just 3. So then here, this is on, 3a. That was 3a, this is 3c. We're going to be squaring this whole radical with a coefficient. When you square a -3, it becomes 9. When you square the root of 5, it becomes just a 5. So then we multiply 9 times 5 is 45, and that's all you do there. Here we have 7a, and we are going to do root of 3 times 2 root of 6 minus root of 12, all in brackets. And what we're going to do is multiply this root of 3 out into these both. So the root of 3 multiplied into here will be 2 root of 18 minus, and then root of 3 times root of 12 will be root of 36. And then we can break down root of 18 into 2 times 3 times 3, and 36, if you don't know it, can be broken down to 6 times 6. And we just take the coefficients, we're going to take what's inside here and we're going to take it out. So the 3's will come out, multiply by the 2, which is 6, root of 2, and then we know that we can already just square root 36 to be 6, so it's going to be -6, and that's all we are doing for that question.
We back at it again with 2.4. We're going to be dividing this time. And starting out with this question, you're going to want to start out by timesing it by the square root of 6. This will cancel out this square root symbol. But then whatever you do to the bottom, you got to do the top. And then you're going to end up with a 2, 6 like that. And then it's going to be 5 times 6 because it cancels out the square root number. So then it's going to be 2 to the root 6 divided by 30. And then all you got to worry about is the coefficients. So 2 divided by 2, 30 divided by 2. So then you're going to have 1 over 15 times root 6. And that's it for that question. Now this question is a little longer, but it's going to be the same thing. You're going to go taking this, and this can go into every one of these numbers evenly. So it goes into 24 4 times, plus it goes into 48 8 times, minus it goes into 108 18 times, and then you got rid of this on the bottom. See, now we're just going to simplify. This is going to be a 2 because the square root of 4 is 2, plus now we're just going to simplify like this inside. So you're going to go 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Take the 2 and put it outside. 2 to the 2 like that, minus, you're doing the same with this one. So you're going to go divided by 2, you're going to put a time symbol, divide by 2 is going to be 9 times 3 times 3. 3 goes outside, 2 stays inside. These two are the same now. They can be put together. So you're going to have a negative root 2 minus negative root 2. And that's it for that one. We got one more. This one is actually very simple. You're just going to go root 27 divided by root 10. And then we're just going to want to times them by root 10. And you're going to get 270, the root of 270, divided by 10. Seems like a big number, but actually it's pretty easy because all you got to do is simplify like you did up there. 5 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 is the simplification for that one. You're still divided by 10. You have a group there, and that's about it. So you got the 3, and then you're just going to want to times all these together. So 5 times 2 is 10, times 3 is 30. 30 divided by 10, and that's it for that one too. There's 2.4, light work.